Good evening. Welcome to the Trails Committee meeting September 15th. I am calling the meeting to order at 7:06. Let's do a roll call. Let me know that you're here. Tom McCoolier,
Here.
Satyendra Sharma,
Yeah.
Will Warren,
Yeah.
and Kat McKee here. Great. Thank you all. Okay, so tonight we are talking about a few things, and I need to pull up the agenda, so you got to give me a second. I was looking through some meeting minutes to answer some questions that we had after last meeting, so give me a second. Okay. Great. Okay, so minutes, we're going to skip the minutes. I think we last time we covered a bunch of our minutes, so I'll get those, make sure those are updated on the website. I think I just got a notice that one of them was not updated, and we'll take the minutes up at the next session. Okay, so Peninsula Trail Phase 1. So I don't have signage information for us yet, but we'll schedule a next meeting to talk about that, and I definitely will have it at the next meeting. But Will, I think along the lines, you sent some information about interactive maps and such. Do you want to kind of take us through that?
Right. This is something done by the conservation and recreation people, the GIS.
Okay, I'm having a harder time hearing you. Is anyone else?
No, the same way. Very, very faint.
So maybe
Okay.
yell into it.
I'm having sorry. Can you hear me better now?
A little bit, just maybe, can you speak up?
Sure.
Perfect. Okay.
Okay.
What you got?
I sent you a map and I sent you a link. And this goes to the web mapping people, web mapping services of the Massachusetts Conservation and Recreation Group in UMass. It's the map I sent you is one of 4 maps that cover the entire Burroughs Loop Trail. It's ready to go right now. It's got lots of nice stuff on it, very professionally made.
Who did this?
This was the Massachusetts Conservation and Recreation folks.
Wait,
I'll send you the contacts to them.
But you just linked to Burroughs. So, okay, thank you. The email that you sent from Alita Freeman, it has a link here to Southborough, our website, Southborough's website. Oh, this link is to our our website. Did she send us a
But
link?
no, it passes through
website?
to their website. It passes through to their website.
Oh, that's funny. So she sent us a link to our website, and our website links to the interactive map, which we knew about. That's Sudbury Valley Trustees maintains that map.
Okay, well,
Yep. Okay.
so that map covers the Marlborough to Southborough portion of the trail.
Uh-huh.
And it's maintained, it's online. It's something that we can create a QR code so that people can go to that map, or they can go to the other 3 maps that make up the set of 4 that covers the entire Burroughs Loop Trail. And the map that that they provide has topographic information on it. It has information about the the terrain and such. So it's I think it's an interesting map. Now you're looking at the entire map. If you go down a little on that web page a little bit, then
Down
there
on
will
the
be
page itself? Or
yeah,
in the email?
on the web page itself. So you're showing us the web page right now, right?
Yeah, well, I went to it took me to the interactive map, the ArcGIS link. When you say go down the website, what do you mean? Down the page?
I think he's looking for a different website for this, right, Will?
Will, we lost, you're on mute now by accident, maybe?
There are 4 sections of the map. If you go to that,
Are we
If
in the
you
same
look-
website?
it's on the same website. It's under there's an overall map, right? And then below that are links to 4 other maps.
Okay, so I see what you're saying. So the way that Sudbury Valley trustees set this up, in order to get this whole loop shared in a PDF form, they had to break it up in 4 sections. So
Right.
that's what you're referring to. And I think it's on the
Section
website, it's
3.
section 3 and 4
Or
are
section 3. Yep.
right. And then section 3, to your point, is this what we're referring to?
Section 3 is what I sent you in the email. It should be an image that shows up in your email.
Okay, so I've got, let's see, the first email. I look down. I link to here, and then you could try contacting the GIS staff with Southborough RPA Metropolitan.
I think it's the next one, the 3:29 p.m., the one above this email. Go to the left, go to your emails. He sent it at 3:20. Yeah, that's the
Oh, I
one I'm
see.
looking
Okay,
at.
sorry, thanks. Yes, we're familiar with this map. Did you get this off of us? Okay, yeah. Yep, so this is a static PDF.
Right. But if you go down the webpage, there are the 4 sections. It's not terribly interactive, to tell you the truth, but that's fine.
Well, the PDF is not interactive. The interactive map is interactive. The issue is, so we can definitely link the QR code to the interactive map, absolutely. Right.
Okay.
So that is true. But if we are looking at this map in GIS, for example, and wanted to take a snippet, for example, and use that as because we do want a static map, like a picture of a map, so that when people go there, they don't have to use their phone if they don't have a phone, or if they're not using QR apps, right? We have a picture of the trail.
Yes, you are correct.
This.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
You are correct, but
Yes.
I sent you that section 3, which is just one PDF.
Yes.
It's already snippeted. Okay.
Yes.
And
yes.
I think that would be more than suitable to print out and put on our kiosk.
There's a small, tiny problem.
What?
Okay. This map shows the trail going on Route 30. It needs to be rerouted to the real trail.
Okay, well then we talk to the folks behind this map, and we get them to make that change.
So the challenge is we could do that. And we do know Sudbury Valley trustees and Dan Stimson, who manages this, we worked with closely when we were on the committee for developing this. So I know him well enough to ask him. The question is, though, they can't technically update the map until the trail is officially open, right? But we need the map to be ready before the trail opens, right?
Well, let me ask you a question. What type of media are you going to print this on? Are you going to print it on paper or metal?
No, it would be whatever so it's not metal, it's not paper. It's going to be whatever the sign material is made of.
Right. And what I would recommend is that we could print out this version onto the sign originally, and then just print out something to paste over it later. Rather than hold up the printing of anything.
Yeah, we can't do that, right?
Right. So we could just basically, I mean, it's a square. It's not a funny shape. It's a square. And, we can print a new version and just paste it right on top.
So maybe we can let's put this to the designer and see if they can help us sort it out. They might have a good recommendation for that, Will. They might have an insert that we could print out and put over in the way that you're referring to it. That might work.
Right.
Out.
So, I mean, we could certainly, what it sounds like is that we're going to be putting the kiosk up prior to the bridge being finished.
Correct.
So there is going to be a period of time.
Actually,
there.
wait. Doesn't that show? Oh, it's on Route 30. Well, it's kind of like
it's close.
I mean, it's right there, but the trail actually goes there.
The trail is very close to 30. Yes.
Yeah, if you just have to slide it off the road a little bit. And I think that's an easy ask of Dan. He may be open to doing that for us.
Yeah, I,
Because I think what I think we should talk about it when we get to this, you know, what we want on the sign, but we won't, so that we're thinking about, this is the map kiosk at either end of the trail, right? So if you're showing up, you get the myopic view, the view of exactly where I'm at. But then in some way, it would be nice to show them the more global view. But the question to the committee is, you know, the more global view, meaning the whole circle, right?
right,
So you want to provide kind of a context. This is where you are here, and this is what you can walk today. But on a larger scale, it's part of a bigger thing, right? So
right.
we could
Which
either
I would say
refer-
that
Yeah.
would be a good use of the QR code to get them to the bigger one. Right,
perhaps, yeah, maybe that's the way we refer them to the QR code for the larger. This is a section of the Burroughs Loop. And if we don't have enough space to show a larger map,
right,
because it won't be with any detail that they can then take a snapshot and then use it as a map, because
Right.
it's going to be so
Right.
zoomed out, right? But just for perspective, we may want to provide a visual perspective. But I think you're right. That's how we use the QR code, is to send them to the interactive map.
Right,
Right.
I agree with that. And I do like the idea to show the whole circle, but it's just almost like you can even shrink this a little bit if you need more real estate on the kiosk, but it
Yeah.
gives you, and then the picture, the next one is actually in the Southborough section.
right.
Right.
Yeah,
But you
I
know,
like
the
that. I
QR
mean,
code, we could give them a
Cool.
QR code that goes to just the Southborough.
I think we could do a
You
little
broke
bit better. Well, we'll do QRs for both of them, yes.
What was, Will, you kind of broke up. You want to give QR codes to what? You're a little frozen still now.
Yeah, I think.
Okay, he'll sort that out, but we can talk about that detail. So I think I've got the concept is, but yeah, we would need to, the problem is, so like if I take a snippet of this and use it as our map, when you blow that up, oh, there's Will again. When you blow that up, it doesn't always, the pixels, the graphic content doesn't
Yeah,
always
yeah.
present as a
Yeah,
nice
no.
image, right? So that's where we might be able to ask Sudbury Valley trustees if they could do a really
High
you know,
resolution.
a professional snippet
Yeah,
of the, so we could use that as a, you know, and blow it up. So I can put that on the assignment list, is to talk to Dan Stimson and
Right.
see if he can help grab an image of that.
right. The other thing that we could talk to them about is, you know, there's gonna be a parking area. And we might want to show a little sign for a parking area where we're gonna have parking areas.
Oh, we definitely are. So what we would want is a big P here.
Yeah,
Whatever P means ADA, we want that P to represent that there
Mhm.
is accessible parking.
and also at the Sophelina end of the trail as well.
Oh, we don't have any parking there, unfortunately, Sanofi. So the idea was that we would share this parking space, but Sanofi will not agree to do that until we put in a crosswalk. So what my next step is, and I'm listening to you guys, talking to you and getting your feedback as well, is once we make some progress, we get a contractor, we know we're going to build this bridge and boardwalk, which of course we know we're going to do it, but I need to see I need more concrete stuff for them. Then what we're going to do and come back to Sanofi and say, hey, we were able to fund the bridge, we funded the boardwalk, we funded all this, and maybe we even get National Grid on their big project to help improve the roadway, the gravel road, which I'll talk a little bit about. If we get all those things done, if Sanofi still wants, if they want to help us, they can help us build the crosswalk. Can you help us fund it? Because we're tapped out. We spent all this money. We would love to have a crosswalk. We understand the value, but we can't afford it anymore. So if you want one, you help us create one, and we're all there.
Yep.
Now,
agreed. Let's build it first and ask for the parking later.
let me ask you a question about where we put the parking. If Sanofi, if a crosswalk is gonna cost a lot of money. If you look at the Burroughs Loop Trail as a circle, right? And you go counterclockwise a little bit more past where the bridge is going, our new bridge is gonna be. and you go up, sort of up the northwest leg there, right?
Yes.
Is it possible to put a parking area there on the same side as the trail? Remember where we did the clearing going up that hill?
Yeah, Pine Hill.
Yeah,
Oh, way over there.
yeah. Is it possible to put our parking there?
So
And-
Pine Hill is here. Pine Hill, if you remember, is a very tiny road, a very thin road.
Yeah, that's gonna be tough to put parking
There
there.
is no way.
Well, I was thinking
Well-
we'd put parking areas off the road. It wouldn't be in the road or even on adjacent, it wouldn't be part of the road. It would be,
We would not see this close, and it's also in Framingham. There's a little sliver of Framingham. There's no way we can put, I already know we cannot put parking over here on this Pine Hill Road at all. There's a gas line here, so there's no way we would, there's no way we could build. And I think that we only have a small easement that we were able to build that small trail, which we need to go back and look at, by the way.
what about the street a little bit to the north of where you're,
There is a parking off of Clemens.
Clemens and, okay, so there is a P here. People in the neighborhood do not like this P. This is a very difficult corner. You can park a few cars. It's a tricky corner, right? So, I'm surprised the P is still here personally, but this is not a big, I would not love to advertise this as parking because it's so difficult. It's a 90-degree angle turn. And so if you put, more than a couple cars, you're blocking traffic. Not wonderful, not a great safe place. And we have very firm no from MWA for any parking in this area at all. And that's mainly a safety concern because this is their main entrance to their headquarters. So we understand that. And that was a hard no out of the gate from the beginning. So our best bet is to ask Sunapee if they would be open, in the future to having folks park in their parking space, in their parking lot. I don't know if we could release them of liability, if a sign would release them of liability, because I think this is all about liability. If we let people park there, they get hurt on the road, crossing the road because it's an F1 speedway, then who's liable? I think that's what this is about. So we can talk to our town council, see if they have any recommendations on ways we can release liability and not bring it on ourselves in this situation, if they have any, creative thought that would help us here. But that's the only thing we have on this side for parking. The only other thing is, and I'm not advertising it either, is on Thomas Drive. That Thomas Drive is one of the widest roads I've ever seen. So there's adequate, you can very easily not be on someone's grass and still park along the side here. And then you see this little black line. This is the trail that accesses the Burrs Loop. And when we have our bridge and boardwalk, if people were to park here, go along here, they could come up this way.
But still they need to cross, right?
Everybody still needs to cross. There's no parking on MWA's side whatsoever. Yeah, because they don't want stranger danger big time. Don't want strangers in this MWA facility. They don't want them on the road. They don't want them blocking trucks. And I get it. So we're gonna really, because they've been super awesome working with us. But yeah, it's tricky, but we definitely have some parking here. We don't have a P and we have ADA parking up here. We do need to work out the gate. I have not solved that problem yet because we have the first gate and then we have the second gate. I don't know if DCR would ever allow us just to keep that first gate open. If the second gate is shut and locked, do you need the first gate?
Yeah, I don't think they do, because why do you
Right.
need the two gates?
So I'm kind of thinking that even if maybe, how would this work? Like, even if they kept it shut but not locked? So someone would have to get out of their car, open the gate and drive to ADA parking or drive to the parking and then close the gate. I don't know if that would help, in any way, like deter people if they didn't, you know what I mean? But that first gate, I'm going to hold that question until we get a little further down, but we do have to figure out the parking and the gate because unlocking it and locking it every day is not a really sustainable solution because that's someone has to do that. And that's going to be a lot of work and effort. You know what I mean? Are you there, Will? You went on mute again. We do want to hear from you, so you're on mute. Can you hear me?
Sorry, I keep getting kicked out by Zoom. I don't know why.
Oh, okay. They
Maybe
know something we don't? Hello?
No, maybe I'm too ugly for Zoom.
So,
Let me turn off my camera.
About the gate, if the main gate is kept closed forever, but is there anything on the side? There should be something on the side that somebody can walk through instead of taking their
Oh, you
vehicle.
can always walk through the side, that gate there.
Yeah, so there's two gates. So remember, the first gate is where the old gate,
Yeah,
that's always been there, where we park outside and you can walk around. But for our ADA parking, in order to have that parking available to people, we need that first gate open. So they can
Hmm.
drive up the hill and park.
Yes, we do.
Yep.
So I think the ask in the future is going to be, can you just keep that gate either unlocked and closed or open? And, you know, the concern is making sure that people aren't going back there and partying, but if they can't get through the gate we installed, then I think they're safe, you know, but I don't know if they'll agree with that, and we have to just figure it out and ask when the time comes.
Yep.
Okay. All right, so that's that. Any questions? So anyway, we have to yeah, we have to get going on signage right away, and get this knocked out. So our next meeting will be solely focused on that, and we won't talk about anything. I promise I'll come with information. All of my work deadlines that I was holding back are getting done, so I should be in better shape for this. Okay, so, and we have a Mass Trails grant update, a status report update, and so I think an assignment for the Trails Committee will be, and this, you can go back on Sati's minutes and look, but we need timesheets, not for today, but you know, you need to go ahead and start thinking about your timesheets, because I'm gonna have our next report, when we do our signage and stuff, we're gonna have to do our match. So we will be adding some timesheet stuff. It shouldn't be that difficult. If you go back through the minutes, you'll see the dates that we discussed. We were putting in minutes of times of discussion, but if you look at the bullets, you can kind of estimate what the time was spent on those. Try to be conservative, don't overdo it, and never exaggerate. If you don't know, then you don't put it on the timesheet, because we want honest Abe time tracking, we're not trying to embellish, and we have met our match via the paving and such, so we're in good shape for that. But if you could start doing that, that'd be great, because I will be hitting you up for that in a month or so, a couple months. Okay. All right, so that's signage and that's that. So the next step is engineering. So we need to, I'm gonna stop sharing. Stop sharing, okay, great. And then I need to see what our David Lapointe said. All right, checking into this, there's Dylan this afternoon, submit the application center registration. Okay, because I had asked him, reviewing the doc that you just sent, a lot of information and requirements within the document that I prepared, which was bid. In some cases, we need to fill in blanks. The description provided by the Trails Committee on page 4 to 6 is not typical. Okay, so this was, I asked David Lapointe, to the engineering, Bills and Thomas, to, I sent him our last application and it had the project overview and things. And I asked him to look at it and see what part of that we needed to focus on for this new bid. And he wrote that he said the description provided by the Trails Committee in our original bid, which was the project overview, is not typical. Typically, it's only a short paragraph describing the project, see highlighted sections on the attached samples. And there's a brief description of the project on page 6 of the PDF that I sent, which is a draft sample contract, page numbers, but this could be expanded slightly if necessary. The permits noted on page 7 have essentially been addressed by the Conservation Committee. Okay, and the graphs, okay. I don't know how much more needs to be reviewed with the others town, but there would now be a deadline to submit central report in order to Okay, so then he sent some timelines here.
Who gave this feedback?
This is from David Lapointe, Beals
Oh.
and Thomas. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so now I understand. So now we have the information we need to tighten up our project description. He's basically saying we won't do the long project description, we'll do a simple one. And then I gave the town, Mark Purple and Melanie a heads up on that this was coming in, and Melanie mentioned that she would need to add the contract language, which I thought we had already asked about and I had sent to David, but it sounds like there might be a few more things to do. So we will get that tightened up this week, and I'll get it out and see what next steps, what our new timeline is for getting that to bid. When we go to bid, so you may recall last time we had a Q&A session where we showed up and the bidders would show up and stuff. So it depends on our timing of this, but there is a week in October that I'm going to be gone and out of town. So that's it may fall into a window that we need to do the bid Q&A. So I may need coverage if that's the case. And it might be something where, you know, if there's we'll try to get some questions answered in advance, but if there's any questions at that site visit that we can't answer at that moment, we'll follow up and get them some answers. So if there's someone who could attend in my absence, I know you can't say yes now because you don't know what date it is. But that's going to be a pretty important thing to not miss. So we can't do it based on my timeline. So we've got to roll with what turns out here. But I may need some coverage if that happens to fall on the same week I'm going to be out of town.
How many bidders do we need at a minimum?
We don't need minimum a number of bidders, but 26 firms pulled the last project when we had
Okay.
it posted.
All
which
right.
was very, nice. And I think we had 1 or 2 firms show up and ask some questions. It wasn't a big number. And then when we asked for feedback, we got a few firms to give us some feedback. Okay. So the next question is, I was trying to search through our meeting minutes, is CPC, right? So it was my understanding after a meeting we had with CPC in 2024, I believe, and I'll have to go back to 2023 and see if I asked it then, to see if we were able to apply the first 47,000 funds. If we're not using it all for our signage and the first part of the trail, phase 1 part, can we apply it to phase 2? It was my understanding that we had gotten a yes for that, but I'm trying to find that in writing, and that's proving to be a little bit more difficult. And the reason, so it means we can spend some of that money if we need to on the signage. That's great. But I was hoping that we could have a little bit of that money for the other project if we needed it, just in case, right, from our phase 2 project. But I have not yet found that documented in the minutes on CPC side, and I've not found it documented in Trails Committee minutes. So I'm still looking now. CPC is meeting on Wednesday. I'm going to reach out and see if we can attend that meeting and ask the question, and because we were trying to figure out if what we had to play with for the budget. And if we're not able to use that 47,000, that's, it just means our project needs to come under budget for what we have for our phase 2 numbers.
If we can't use it, does that mean we've lost it irrevocably?
It wouldn't be lost. It just means we didn't. We were so efficient at our usage of money elsewhere, our other funding, that we didn't need it for this phase 1.
Oh, so you're
We were
saying
so
you're saying it's
successful.
use it or lose it on phase 1.
It could be. It could be. And I that wasn't my understanding. And that's fine. Like, that goes back to the town, it goes back to the bucket, and it's going to benefit another project. So that's okay. I was just, so I'm going to share now again, so you can see, because they said they wanted to see how it was written in the town warrant. And so this is are you guys seeing the project description as the first?
Yep.
Okay. So this is our first CPA application, right? So this is some of the stuff. So what I was looking at is this piece is specific to this application. STC is seeking additional funding to help cover project costs related to installation of the boardwalk, footbridge, paving, striping, trail construction related task permits related to phase 2 on the overall project. The project costs include hiring a qualified contractor who will oversee and manage the football. So we specifically mentioned what we were going to be doing in this application. And the reason that's important is because the question came up is, what did the town people vote on when they voted at town meeting, right? And so that would be the only way that the committee would be able to apply these funds, is if they were aware or had voted, you know, in some way that this money could be used for phase two. So the good news is that this has been, let me just make sure. No, this is the new application. Oopsie. 2023. Oh, okay. So that's why that makes sense. But why was that?
Is it possible to get a refund of some of the funds we spent on phase one that could be carried over and then use these funds
A
that cannot be
refund?
carried over? Well, we're getting funds from multiple sources, right?
Oh,
And,
we had funds from multiple sources. Yeah.
right. And, you know, we said that we were spending, you know, X funds from Y source and, you know, Z funds from W source and that kind of stuff, right? So maybe there's a source that we could essentially move so that we could use it in phase two and then use the funds we're otherwise going to lose to finish phase one.
No, I don't think we can. No, so this isn't a situation where we've used all of our ARPA money. We're using all of our grant money. Then comes phase one CPA money. So the phase one CPA money can be used for signage, for the, you know, whatever signage overage. And the question is whether that money can be put forth from phase two. There's no other money that we can repurpose, reuse, or do it.
But what about the ARPA funds? I mean,
That's already expended and used, accounted for, and tracked, right?
that's where but it's expended, yes, but if we said $47,000 of it wasn't expended, and then we expended the CPA funds that we're otherwise gonna lose.
CPA was very clear that ARPA goes first.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, that was very, because ARPA is a grant from another
Okay.
source.
All
So they were very clear to use ARPA first, CPA later. And that's why, you know, we were able to be a little flexible. So here I have, did I miss sharing now? Let me share this. Okay. This is our first application. Okay, so what I'm looking for is how we framed. We talk about wayfinding and fencing. This is our project here. And then
Mhm.
I thought I had included something in here that said phase two, but we were very vague about it.
so the question we're gonna ask is going to be asked of the Community Preservation Act people, right? Can we use that 47,000 in phase two?
Yeah, apply
Okay.
it to the phase two project. All right, so this is where wayfinding, all right. Fencing. All right, opportunity to expand. If CPA funds are awarded, the committee will be like to leverage this money and use it to get matching funds for DCR Mass Trails grant, to evaluate trail accessibility, moving gate accessible and slope issues, installation of a crosswalk, improve and improve other trail crosswalks, and add historical signage on other trail at key locations. So we didn't, I think we had, okay, it looks like we've taken out that other part too about the bridge and footbridge, the bridge and boardwalk, because it was too complicated and we kept it simple. Okay. Okay, so then the other question they had was, how was it written up in the warrant? I'm gonna stop sharing here. How would we find an old warrant? They keep them on town, on the,
They probably do. Let me poke around.
I think it, so.
If you go to the town website and search, I think you'll find it.
Okay, so this was a 2021 town meeting, town warrant. All right, I found it. Let's share again. Okay. Now, I don't know if this is a searchable PDF or not. Okay, let's oh yeah, so here it is. To see if the town will vote to appropriate 47 from fiscal year for the 1.6 mile Peninsula Trail for rec purposes as requested in project costs and additional foreign contingency shall apply for Mass DCR grant. In the event that the grant funds are not awarded, the CPA will be used to provide signage and install required fencing, enable contingency funds only available CPC for unexpected costs of a project to be completed in conformance with the details as presented to the member CPC, to be documented in the application, said funds to be expended under the direction of CPC, town treasurer, or do or act any. Okay, so it says it would be used for improvements on the 1.6 mile trail segment to close a gap of the. Technically, it's like, I don't feel like it's inconsistent with what the funds would be used for is the way this is written. So it says estimated annual revenue for 1.6 trail for recreational purpose as requested by the Trails Committee and project costs. So yeah, I think it depends on how the committee feels about it. And because both times it was voted on in the town, these are just oh, was I not sharing? Okay, so here it is, this section here. Both times it was voted on by the town. It was close to unanimous with it, with maybe, I think, an exception of a couple people that didn't raise their hands or vote. So why I say that is because it had a lot of support. If it were divided 50-50 or very controversial, then I wouldn't feel comfortable making that ask of CPC. But because of the way it's written and because of the favorable nature that both applications received by most, that I feel pretty comfortable asking.
Mhm.
So we'll see. Yeah, so we'll have to see how they feel about that. But yeah, their meeting is on Wednesday. I'll see if I can get some answers from them on that. Okay, because the other thing is we needed to, that additional 5,000, we spent some of the money from Trails Committee budget, but we didn't spend all of it. Like there was still like a couple grand that needed to come out, and it was going to come out of this larger of the phase 2 CPC grant. So we don't have the full, we don't have the contingency funding approved yet, but we can request it to be approved. So basically the additional funds would come out of, for that engineering invoice would come out of the 183.
Mhm.
Not the, so if we are taking a little bit out of that, it brings our budget down more, is what I'm saying. So it, with the cost of everything going up, so it makes it a little bit, but a few $1,000s should not make or break. And if it does, we're in bigger trouble anyway. Okay, so I've got to sort that out and sort out. We'll have that sorted out this week as to what money is covering what funding. What money is covering what invoice, that is. From what bucket. Okay. All right, so that's that. And then so we're going to be really close to I should be making good progress. So by this Friday, we should have, I would hope, a timeline, and we would have everything kind of settled up for phase 2 to go to bid. We can stop saying those words. We're going to be very close. That's good. Any questions? No. Okay. Bench placement. I still have not asked about Deerfoot. And I think, but
what was the other location? We had Deerfoot, and what was the other one?
Bay Circuit Trail, we're definitely going to put it on Bay Circuit Trail along that, because there's some places
Yeah.
up there overlooking. So I think if we were to schedule a time, but this is, I think the one on Bay Circuit Trail will need to bring the gorilla cart and a bench. So
Yeah.
I think one of those benches, but I think I mean, we will have to use your pilot if you still have it.
Yep. We just
Don't
pick a
mind.
date. Want to see if we get a date and just knock that one off.
Yeah, we should knock that one off. And we should try to
We could
should
see if we
try
wanna
a
schedule
couple
a
more,
date.
because what I was hoping is ideally one day somebody's going to come to us and say, move that wood next to your shed, right? that wood will most likely fit in our shed, right? Probably positioned a little differently, but if we can move out the benches and move the wood in, then we can regrow their grass. We might be able to do it this fall, right? Because we've created a hole in the cemetery grass.
So let's at least get one of them out. Let's
Yeah. Well,
do
I
a
think
date.
we might be able to do two, right? Like it depends on the other one. I think where we're gonna put it.
Right. But I'm just saying, do we want to like see if we can get a date so we can do that on?
Yeah, we do. Let's look. And we don't need everybody, so it's okay if you can't make it. We just see what Tom works for Tom first because Tom's the truck. Sorry, Tom. I can put a bench in my car, but I can't put a bench and a cart in my car. And so what we could do, Tom, is if we've got the cart and a bench in your car and we put a bench in my car, then we can drop off one somewhere else.
Yeah, so I have something on the 18th that says save for trails 5 to 7. What's that?
Oh, was that us being proactive?
I don't know why I put that in my calendar, but it's there.
Oh, that's this Thursday.
Yeah,
Oh,
I mean, I know that's soon.
no, I could do it if you can do it. Can
Yeah, I
you do
got it in my calendar
I'm
already.
working from home on Thursday. Okay. You wanted, and so now it gets a little dark. Is 5:30 okay?
Yeah, I'll
At
just,
shed? Okay. Can anyone join us on the 18th? And I'm not trying to exclude you. I just, it's kind of a get it done.
18th is not a good day for me.
Okay, that's okay, Will. Are you okay if we proceed without you? We will miss you, but you
I
went
will
on.
shed tears, but yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Okay, I will give you a tissue next time I see you. How are you with that, Satyendra?
Yeah, I can try.
You
I
can
can
what?
try.
Try
I can
it.
try.
Okay.
5:30 at the shed.
Yeah, at the shed, and then I'll come, and then, so we were gonna, I wrote this down somewhere. So we were gonna put one on BCT, on the Bay Circuit Trail on
Yep.
that section, and then we were gonna do Deerfoot.
Mm.
And then one of the ADA ones would go along the Peninsula Trail. I don't think we will be able to do that one because, well, yeah, I don't know where we want that one. I think because we bought another bench with arms because we thought maybe we could, so we could save one of those for like, maybe even, yeah, we can save one of those for like the section that we're putting in now. That might be nice. And so, but we have multiple. So yeah, all right. So we'll definitely do BCT, and there may be another section that we put, because I think it was on Route 30. I was thinking along that little section. There's a nice place overlooking the water, and that's right off the trail, so it doesn't require a big effort. So that might be another place, SRT along Route 30 at that triangle. Okay, thank you. So that's at 5:30 on the 18th. And
Yep.
that means I could still do the gym afterwards, which is really good. Okay, let me put it in my phone so I don't forget. And thank you very much, Tom. Okay, great. Oh, so exciting news. I think I told you in a text, but the trail work they did on September 5th, right? They did a great job getting through that awful section between the pond and the bridge, right? All that brambles. You remember what it looked like, everybody? It was like, how is this going to even happen? So the night before, I went and took a walk, and the pond, the little pond we're putting boardwalk over, had no water. It was a gift. It was a gift from the universe. So had no water, so you could walk across it instead of figuring out how to access that area, which was going to be hard to do anyway, right? But when I looked at the area, it's all poison ivy. And what volunteer is going to jump in the poison ivy? You might as well just jump in and roll over. So I went to Home Depot and I purchased, well, they weren't Tyvek suits because I think Tyvek might breathe a little bit better than plastic. Does that make sense? Yeah. So I got the plastic because it was a little less expensive. Well, it was 80 degrees that day and they were in plastic suits. So you do the math on how it felt to be in those suits. But those volunteers used those suits and they knocked out that section and they did a really good job. It still needs some work, but for the most part, the big section was done. So you can walk from where we started in the field, at the access point, all the way to the bridge now without getting poison ivy all over you.
Wow, that's good.
It's incredible. So, and I think I shared, but I will share for the recording, is that it was a group of volunteers from All Trails, which is an app that makes trails, like they make trail maps, and they're a huge app company. So I thought that was really unique and ironic that they were the ones that helped us build the trail. So, so yeah, we thank them. I'll send them a nice thank you. And there were 3 volunteers plus Amber. I could not stay. I helped set up, I provided the tools and they brought some tools and then I cleaned up. So I was there at the beginning and the end, but I couldn't stay for work issues. But Amber said there might be a day in November that they could come back out and finish up, like they might be able to do some bog bridge building, right? So, and I did ask her, I put that idea about, do we want to build a bog bridge all along this? She's like, you would still have all of the brambles grow up and around it. So it's not really recommended to put a bog bridge on top of brush. So our shortcut was not such a shortcut, but now we know. So yes, they might be able to help us build a couple of the bog bridges in that area while it's dry. So yeah, that's great news. So now when the contractors come in and even when we do the site visit, it will look more, they'll have more access to it, yeah. And we didn't have to take down, I mean, it doesn't mean we won't have to take a couple smaller trees down, but we didn't have to take a lot down to access it. So that's good. Very exciting. Okay, great. Yoga on the trails. So we had another yoga on the trails this past Saturday. It was okay attended. It was 13 versus like 20 something the last time, but we had a technical glitch. Eventbrite was having an issue with logins, so I could not log in. I tried Friday afternoon and I tried Friday night to log in to grab the registration list to be able to send a nice little reminder. That's what we said we would do. Unfortunately, they never fixed their problem, so I couldn't send out the reminder. What I did do was I took the last registration list from the 9th, which had some 913 registrants on it. I did send it out to those that had previously registered, but none of the new ones got registered, the reminder. So we think that may have impacted the numbers. 13 is still a very good number, but it wasn't as much as it was before, and it may have made a difference. So that was unfortunate. Emma was very understanding. She did reach out and ask about if we were open to any more sessions. So this has been very well attended this year. So I wanted to ask.
Is it just by word of mouth? That's why it's growing and growing?
And she's doing a lot of promotion. She's also got a bigger growing and following herself because she does a lot in town, a lot. And so I think a combination of this going on for a couple of years, her doing her own promotions, because we have not been promoting as much because she's doing so much promoting, and they would fill up quickly. So she asked about if we would add October 25th and or November 8th to the schedule. So if I remember right, did we do?
Do we have the funds? If we have the funds, yes.
Yeah, let me look at the budget. I think we will have the funds for that because they're $75 a class. So we're really only talking about $150. And I think we do. And I forget, we did one in June or did we just start in July? Who remembers?
I thought we started in July.
I think we might have started in July. So let me just see real quick. I can get into the system because it is quite annoying that it was broken. And I did send an email. I was professional about it, but I expressed my frustration because it was hard to get through. Okay, there we go. Manage events. All right. Yeah, 1 July, 2 in August, 2 in September, 1 in October. So we've got
That's 5.
6, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times 75 is 450. So we'd be adding another 150. Yeah, I think we can probably do it. Let me just do a little bit of math because I did spend when I went to Home Depot on those Tyvek suits, and I did bring them back, but you know, I don't know if we can reuse them or not. I don't know how long oil will last on plastic, right? Thinking of poison ivy oil, like you know how they say to clean your tools, because you can reinfect yourselves. I think the same would apply to plastic. You're not really going to use alcohol in plastic or wash it. You might be able to put plastic in Dawn water, but you'd really kind of have to scrub it, wouldn't you? So I don't know how long oil lasts and whether we should even try reusing the suits again. They were only like $14 or so, but I bought a few of them. Anyway, my point is I had to buy that and a tarp and a couple of things, some glasses, I wear. So I have to get reimbursed for that. So I will do the budget and then double check. And I think we can at least say yes to one. By the time she gets to November, it's going to be pretty chilly out there. But
Kat, I just looked up the answer to your question.
oh, thank you.
Several years. It can remain active for several years on
Are
plastic.
you serious? Wow.
I'm serious.
Okay.
I mean,
So
that's from, you know, Google, who
yeah.
knows, but
Okay.
that,
Well,
that, to me, that sounds very reasonable. That can remain a long time.
Okay. Well, I suppose we could have a couple suits rotate, you know, put them in this is going to hang for 2 years suit, and this one you can use until, and then rotate them. I don't know. All right, that's good to know. Okay, so that's yoga and the trails. Anything else? I think that covers most of our business. We're very close to getting out to bid. I'm very excited about that. Tom and I will meet on the 18th and we'll distribute.
And Sati, don't forget about Sati.
Oh, and Sati, my bad. And so we'll get those benches installed. And so can we meet, can we look at something next week? Like the 25th? Thursday?
Hang on. October. October 25th. That's a Saturday.
September. Sorry,
Oh.
September. I'm still in. Yeah, I'm thinking because we'll want to keep rolling. We'll have updates for bid and stuff, and then we might have to make a decision or vote.
I am available.
Sati? Will?
Might be what time?
7:30?
That's okay.
That's
I'm
okay.
going back to work.
I'm available on the 25th.
Okay, let's do
That'd be
7:30
7:30 PM.
PM. Yeah. And you said you're going back to work, Sati?
Yes.
Congrats.
Great.
So
Mhm.
happy. I'm sure you want a little more break, but I'm happy for you. Okay, great. So if that's it, does someone want to make a motion to adjourn at 7:59?
So moved.
Second.
Great, and all in favor, Satyendra Sharma,
Yes.
Will Warren,
Aye.
Tom McCoolier,
Yes.
Kat McKee. Yes, great. Thank you all. Very productive meeting. Appreciate all your support and input. And we're very close to being off to the races with the bid. All
Okay.
right. I'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
See you Thursday.
You.